Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I hope everyone's staying warm. It's pretty cold out there.
It really is.
Jinx. Okay. Nope. No, still my other laptop. Okay.
Christina, you're not on mute, just so you know.
I know, I'm trying. Sorry. Do
Oh.
you hear an echo? Do you hear an echo or is it just me?
No, I hear an echo.
Okay. Sorry, that is what I'm trying to solve. Or I could be talking to myself. Okay. And just so you know, I did get a message from Mr. Walker. He will be a few minutes late, but he will be joining.
Thank you.
Nope.
We'll give it 5 minutes. If not, we'll go ahead and get started.
Okay, I will check with the rest as well.
Thank you, Christina.
Hey, how are you? I I had some crazy illusion I could get to my home office in time. That was crazy. So I will just turn my camera off here and tune in as I am making my way to my home office.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
And please drive safely, Mr.
Yes.
Walker, please.
Yes, that's why I turned the camera off. The traffic is a nightmare. Like, my goodness. I don't know what I was thinking.
It happens. It's okay.
Yep.
All right. Christine, I think I see Reverend Johnson here and Tyrone. I'm gonna give it another minute before we get started.
Okay. I did. I think he just wait. Now I don't see him. Hold on. Oh wait, yes, I do. Sorry. Yep. We can go ahead and get started if you like. I believe that would be that's most of the committee.
Great. All right, let's go ahead and get started then. Welcome everyone to the FCE meeting. I'm calling this meeting to order. It's December 7th, 4:33 p.m. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing on the agenda is a mid-year update on for the Office of Families and Community Partnership. I'm going to pass it along to Chief Blackburn.
Thank you so much, Chairwoman. Escribano. Just a quick point of privilege. I do want to take a moment just to say thank you again to the board for just recognizing me at the last board meeting. It really was encouraging. So I want to say thank you to all of you for doing that. Really appreciated. And also want to say congratulations to you, Ms. Escribano, on your new appointment. Again, just excited for you and the work that you will do. All right.
Thank you, Chief Blackburn. I really appreciate it, and congratulations to you as well. I'm looking forward to continuing for all of us working together and serving our kids in our community.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Christina, are you going to share? Oh, excellent.
Just let me know when to transition.
Perfect. All right. Well, good evening again, and to our viewing audience. We are, believe it or not, at the halfway point in our school year. In a couple of weeks, we'll be to our holiday break, and that does signify the mid-year point for the school year. So we want to provide just a mid-year update on the work of the Office of Family and Community Partnerships here at Hartford Public Schools. So you can move to the next slide, Christina. Thank you. So in the mid-year update, you will hear from our Welcome Center. You'll hear about our community schools work, our partnership work, as well as our school governance councils, our SGCs, and the family engagement work that does happen in our school buildings. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Judith Fagan, who is going to talk through the Welcome Center and will give an overview of where the Welcome Center is and what they have been doing for the 23-24 school year to this point. Ms. Fagan?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So we are in the month of November. And as you can see, this comparative report of last year and this year, it's ebbs and flows in the Welcome Center. I know the board like to see trends. The best trends we can give is usually during the summer months when it's school enrollment season and the choice application season and those sort of things. I'm sorry, I can't see this chart from just a moment. So as we can see that last August, the numbers increased by over 300 intakes. And this September, it increased over last September. And that's a trend. This year, as we go into this year, we see that we started off the year with September, October, and it dwindles down as it gets to December, and then you'll see in January that the pattern will start again. But we're, again, going back to pre-pandemic numbers, if we should go back. So what's happening in our community is usually what we're receiving here in the Welcome Center, and the needs and the services and the supports that are needed. Were there any specific questions?
Ms. Fagan?
Yes.
Just for our viewing audience, if you could just quickly, not that you have to read from the slide, just review an intake, the complaint, the concern, the request, and just for our viewing audience, so that they're clear on the difference between all of those. Thank you.
Okay. So in terms of a complaint on a concern, complaints are usually a situation that is, how should I put it? Situation that is immediate. It needs to be resolved immediately. Concern is usually something that's brewing that we need to address before it gets worse. And it's at a stage where we can address it and put a plan in place or do some sort of mediation or advocacy to control the situation before it gets into a complaint. And then it varies depending on the situation, whether it's regarding an incident or regarding something related to attendance, or something could be related to homelessness, or but then when it's a complaint, it's usually something to do with safety or some other immediate type of incident in the school. And requests are usually for services or supports or information.
Thank you, Ms. Meehan. And just for process, I should have asked in the beginning, Chairwoman, but my assumption is that you would want us to go through the full report and then questions, but if that is not how you would like to proceed.
Yes, thank you for that clarification. Apologies for not making it clear in the beginning. Yeah, let's hold off any questions from my fellow colleagues until the end of the presentation. Thank you, Chief Blackbird.
Thank you. And Christina, you can move to the next slide. Are you all set with this one, Ms. Fagan?
Yes, I'm all set if everyone is.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was on mute. I apologize. Our next few slides will be presented by Ms. Alvarado, Mr. Martinez, and Ms. Mitchell Davis on our SDCs and our school and family events.
All right, good evening, everybody. I apologize. My daughter is at cooking class and she'll be done soon, but wanted to cover a few numbers for our school governance council update from August to where we are. This is back November, right? Because I did send this a few weeks ago, but to really bring up that for the schools that have submitted, we have 2 schools that have not submitted their roster, but for those that have submitted their roster, 18 of them, which is the majority, have a fully seated SDC. Also would like to just make the comments that those schools that either are not in compliance or have not submitted their roster is because their SGC needed to be completely fully reelected, right? We do have those when we do get a new SGC, right? And they're in for 2 years, their commitment is there. So we do have those 2 years to relax, but then after those 2 years, we do have to go for re-election. So that is where those schools are at. Also want you all to pay attention that we do have more parents and teachers and community members, and that is what we like to do, right? In SGCs have 7 members parents. So that is what we like to see. We are tending to have all of the schools with an SGC by the end of January. I am in close communication with those 4 schools, and they are looking at having an SGC again by the end of February, beginning of February. So that is where we're at with those. I believe the next slide is events. This one.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Ms. Mitchell Davis. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, so thank you. Good evening, everyone. So just to highlight a few of the events that have taken place across the district, this is with our family community support service providers housed in our school buildings, as well as with community partners. So whether it was district led or partner with other agencies, There's quite a few listed on this page here, but on the slide here, but wanted to pull out a few. For instance, our Hartford Public Schools Back to School celebration that kicks off in August. We also have like Trunk or Treat with some of our community partners, health fair partnering with community-based organizations in the health fair. There was a health fair at Hartford High, not Hartford Hospital, Hartford High. Harvard High School, as well as at Parker Memorial. And then some other events would be like the budget community forums, the SGC showcase, and family learning sessions that have taken place throughout the district. So just a few highlights of those events.
Good evening, everyone. Just want to take a moment to go over the number of workshop events and home visits that FCSSPs have done at the school level. Workshops as of the end of October 31st. FCSSPs just submitted their November report at the end of this month. We have had 81 workshops, such as literacy, numeracy workshops, resume writing workshops, events, a total of 1,329. And those are anywhere from school-based, back to school events, open house, trunk or treats, Student of the Month awards, perfect attendance awards. Those are a couple of examples. And home visit up to date, we've done 1,973. And those are home visits for families that are in need, students that are missing in action, students are chronically absent, and that's the data as of this moment.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez, and thank you, Dr. Mitchell Davis. Viviana Alvarado is going to come back to us to talk about our FACES, our Family and Community Educational Supports. Ms. Alvarado?
Thank you, Chief. So I do have a little video that I would like to share with you all. I promise it's just 30 seconds. We're not going to watch a whole episode of anything, but just wanted to highlight the work that has happened with FACES, right? I do think that we talk about it, that we read about it, but just seeing the work in action would really bring this to life for us. So Christina, I do believe that you have access to play the video. Let's cross our fingers and you can go ahead and hit play. Sorry to interrupt. Christina, are you sharing your audio? Because it has audio and you can't hear it. If you can't, that's fine.
Doesn't have audio. I can hear it, and if you can, that means let me just check. I'll try it one more time with a different audio source.
No, still no audio. We can't hear it. Okay. Well, if we can't hear it, we'll try to fix that in the background, Christina, and then come back to it.
Okay. So what's next? Fine.
Well, yes, I can 100%. I have it downloaded. I can send it to Christina, and Christina can share the actual file with you all.
Okay, excellent.
But, yeah. We can see all their work, and there's here. So this is where we're heading. This year focuses are adding more student voice, right? Across the district, we have many initiatives with different departments, right? We are looking to add into that student voice, but wanted to add them to the community conversations, right? So when we're out here talking, for example, about the culture and climate survey, right? It would have been great to hear from those students like, hey, this is how I felt when I was filling out the survey, or these are questions that I would have liked to somebody ask me these questions, right? So that's one of our initiatives for this year. And at our next community conversation, would like to invite you all. Next Thursday, we are to start discussing these plans on how to add these students, right? And how to combine other initiatives that the district has into FACES to get that student voice. So this is happening next Thursday. We will be at Capital Community College in the second floor in their community room. Childcare, Spanish interpretation, food will be provided. There's going to be fun activities for the kiddos, right? Since this is like a holiday time. So you're more than welcome to come and join us for this conversation. In January, we'll meet with students that express interest. February meeting, these students are to present to our FACES community. Hey, this is why I would like to join FACES. This is what I think I can bring to the table. During March, we'll do some voting, and then April, we will present those elected students. Other initiatives this year are family engagement strategizing, right? Those forums, those leadership meetings, taking them to the next level, training our parents and making sure that they have the right tools to not only be at the table, but make changes at that table, right? We want them to learn to be strong advocate. We want them to strengthen even more their communication skills and make sure that the message is being heard. So that's the second initiative. And the third one, connect with the community at a deeper level, right? So bringing those partners in, for example, at our next community conversation next Thursday, we will be having Access Health Connecticut. They have been partnering with us this year. They've been coming to events with us. They came to the back to school event. We were table buddies at the Domingo this past summer with them. And they reached out again because they have a message for families to sign up by December 15th for January 1st date, and so on. So they do want to come in. They're coming in. North Hartford Ascent Pipeline. We are working closely with them. They want to have a table. So making sure that those partners are in and that they are sharing the resources, because let's not forget that that's what FACES wants to do. They want to share the resources and they want to highlight them because the resources are there. Families just sometimes, unfortunately, don't know. So those are the goals for this year. Very, very excited. Look forward to seeing you all at some of these events. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alvarado. And also, please travel safely. Our community schools partnerships, Ms. Janelle Hooker is our community schools manager, and she's going to just walk through where we are, our mid-year point for our community schools work.
Good afternoon, everyone. Very excited to talk about the work that is happening with our partners at our community schools work. So for school year 23-24, we are focused on doing specific training for all of our partners around data and understanding of how data can help us really measure the success of our work. We have been offering trainings or meetings on a monthly basis. We started in the month of August doing an onboarding approach with all of our partners to level set information with them and to give them the understanding of the goals for the 23-24 school year. We have worked with them on understanding our PowerSchool, the Transact data system, and reporting mechanisms to ensure that we are able to be on the same page and provide meaningful information on the impact that their work is doing with our young people in our schools. Currently, our data system, which is the Transact data system, is tracking information for about 1,330 students. And as of when this report was run, we were able to share that there is active services with 940 of them. The services that they're actively participating and engaging in are in the area of academic enrichment, experiential learning and integrated student support services. And you can see the breakdown on the slide. Next slide, please. The next number of slides is to provide information, breakdown information around the organizations, the sites or locations where the services are being provided. You are able to see an overview of the scope of services, the projected outcomes, and I would just give you a heads up on the progress that I am able to see as of the end of November. So we were starting with Boys and Girls Club, who is currently at West Middle and Belize. And for the West Middle services that they're offering, the target population is 90 students to work. As of the end of November, at Belize, they are working, or they have recruited 80 students who are actively participated in programs and who are displaying an average daily attendance of 46%. At Belize, their target population number is 75 students, and as of the end of November, they had 72 individuals enrolled, and their average daily attendance services is 42%. Next slide, please. The next organization that we will be looking at information is The Village, and The Village at Burns as their location. Their target population of students that they would be working with is 90 students, and as of the end of November, they had 66 students enrolled in services, and the average daily attendance for those individuals were 86%. They are also working at Burr, and the target population for that school was 85 students, and as of the end of November, they had 53 students enrolled in services, and the average daily attendance was 40% into services. Next slide, please. The Village is also at Sand, and the target number of students for Sand is 70 students. As of the end of November, this particular school is over-enrolled. They have 77 students that are actively enrolled and participating in services with an average daily attendance of 83%. Then we will have Martin Luther King School, and the target number of students for that school is 90 students, and they're currently working with 79 students with an average daily attendance of 70%. Next slide, please. The Village is also providing services at MD Fox, and the number of students that is a target population for MD Fox is 90 students. They currently have 97 students enrolled into services with an average daily attendance of 90%. The following school that they're also providing services is Wish, with a target population of enrollment of 90 students into services. And as of the end of November, they had 72 students enrolled in services with an average daily attendance of 72%. Next slide, please. We are now reviewing Catholic Charities, who is currently providing services at Milner. And as of the end of November, the target population of students for that school is 75 students. They currently had enrolled 67 students actively participating in services with an average daily attendance of 36%. Catholic Charities is also providing services at McDonough, and the target population number of students to serve there is 75 students. At this particular school, they are over-enrolled with 88 students actively participating in service and an average daily attendance of 41%. Next slide, please. Catholic Charities is also providing services at Parkville, and the target number of students that they serve at that particular school is 80 students. And as of the end of November, they had 53 students actively enrolled in services with an average daily attendance of 45%. We are now moving on to talk about Career Resource Inc., who is one of our partners providing services at Milner. Their target number of students to work with is 45 students, and as of the end of November, they had 29 students enrolled in services with an average daily attendance of 86%. Next slide, please. Blue Hills Civic Association is the next organization who is currently providing services at Weaver High School. The target number of students for that particular school is 75 students. As of the end of November, they had 55 students enrolled in services with an average daily attendance of 40%. We are now also talking about Active City, who provides services at Parkville. A target number of students for that particular organization is 70 students. And as of the end of November, they had 52 students enrolled into services with an average daily attendance of 74%.
And thank you, Ms. Hooker, for just reviewing the community schools component. Again, our mid-year snapshot of the various components of our work in the Office of Outreach, Family, and Community Partnerships. We'll pause for a moment just to clarify for our viewing audience. Ms. Hooker did use the word track, not tracking in the sense that most people consider tracking, but when we are saying tracking, we're using that as a monitoring method in our data system. So not tracking as most folks consider it of what used to be done in school. So I just wanted to make that clarification, and actually we'll probably go back into the slide deck and add that footnote. Chairwoman Escarano, that's our presentation. This is a beautiful picture from when we, well, I didn't go, but the team was there along with parents from FACES and other folks from across Connecticut at the National Convening for Family Engagement in Community Schools in June of 2023. So that is our presentation, and we'll pause for questions.
Thank you, Chief Blackburn. I'm going to open it up to my colleagues. I see Mr. Walker has his hands up. Mr. Walker?
Thank you, Chair Escarano, and thank you, Chief Blackburn. I think that the presentation was comprehensive. I'm really congratulating your team. It takes a little extra effort to give everyone an opportunity to shine, and so that was evident, the engagement and folks' kind of command of the areas that they were, participating in and leading. So I would say thumbs up for that. My question related to the presentation provided by Ms. Hooker. And so you may not give a definitive answer, but somehow as you were going through the roll call, I saw a lot of successes across the community partners. I was struck by Catholic Charities, which has been a long-term partner, I think, with us. At all three of their sites, they, to me, noticeably had lower attendance. Did they report back any reason why they felt like they had lower attendance compared to their peers, and what they thought they may do to try to get at that number? I mean, their participation seemed good, but just the attendance didn't seem stellar.
Chief Blackburn, any comments? And Ms. Hooker?
So I'll begin by sharing that, yes, it is noticeable. And of course, I try to pour grace in the gaps for everyone. And as we transition to a new system of having our students in a database, there is a learning curve there for the individuals that are uploading that information into the system. So Ms. Hooker has been just intent about walking them through. We met with agency managers. My days run together. Today's Tuesday. Tuesday. And, saw her sitting with one of the partners, like going over, like, this is how we want you to capture students so you aren't missing any students. And they've also shared that given that many of our middle school students in Catholic Charities, they have 2 middle schools. So kudos to them with the 2 middle schools and the 1 elementary school, that there are times that middle school students, along with most students, they just opt to either go home or I forgot, have a doctor's appointment, this and that. But just wanted to kind of lead with that piece. And I know Ms. Hooker has all of the other details because she's closest to training and working with them. But I know that even came up in our agency managers meeting, because while we're meeting with the partners, we are also meeting with their leaders to just level set and understand what the concerns and their needs are. Ms. Hooker?
Thank you, Chief Blackburn. Thank you so much for the question. So yes, so this year we're really focusing on ensuring that our partners kind of get an understanding of the data system and what we're really capturing, and really ensuring that we lift up meaningful information and how to really ensure that training with our staff at the different organization is happening. At the time of this report that was put together, I was also conducting site visits so that I could really have that in-person and presence to understand what is happening at the site and really be able to work with the providers that are there at the school and the data system to really reflect what they're doing and how it needs to enter into the system. So it is my goal that whenever we do our next report, you should be able to see a better increase because the learning curve of different staff and different individuals are at different levels. But the approach that we have is to have not only our monthly meetings, we're doing site visits, I'm also conducting trainings and IT, as well as update reports that they can see the information that is entered into the system as the information that I'm really working with is what's in the system and not necessarily what they say to me. So we are having this curve of ensuring that everyone understand what is needed, how it's really going to show the impact of the service and the young people that we're working with. I'm hoping that provide a better understanding of where we are as of the end of November with the individuals that are being trained.
Mr. Walker?
Yeah, no, I have Ms. Hooker, I applaud what you're doing in terms of trying to engage the groups. I think though, there seemed like an opportunity for me to learn a little bit more, and maybe not in this meeting, but Chief Blackburn and then Ms. Hooker, I think it sounds like there's a relationship, and maybe understanding the process may help me understand where there may be a gap. And I'm saying that like when I dealt with like Chief David Scooch and I was trying to understand what was happening with those laptop data products getting into schools, I began to understand her process that schools having like a talented and engaged kind of team captain at the school level was pretty important in terms of them getting data and information in a timely way. And so I'm thinking from what you're saying, something maybe similar here, that for each of these groups, there needs to be a point person, and maybe with some groups, that point person may either be new or get up to speed. And so if we can understand that, then that may become more the reason than, for instance, the kids aren't coming. It may be something like that. And so that would be good to know. Not to smack anybody's hand, but I've started to understand, as I understand the process, certain things now I can look at to say, oh, let's see what the health is of this. If they're missing somebody, we can note that and then say, as you said, Ms. Hooker, you're working with the group, trying to identify, get the person up to speed, and maybe in 3 or 6 months, we'll see a change result because that person will be more proficient. So I may put words in your mouth, but maybe some of that may be at play.
No, and Chairwoman Escribano,
Yes.
if I may, Mr. Walker, I in total agreement. You're not, myself and Janelle are in total agreement. And thinking back to where we were last year this time, and something that was shared from this group was really looking at the data and how we are looking at it and making sure that there's some level of progress and monitoring. So it feels like every week, because I can see when the reports are coming through and Ms. Hooker is going in and actually doing that side by side, that chair with the individuals. And I mentioned students not being able to come because that's a parent, right? You know, if they aren't if they aren't able to attend the program, that also impacts attendance. But again, I really want to lift up that from this group, from our conversations last year, talking about how we wanted to look at community schools and look at the data. That's why we're implementing this piece. So we aren't waiting until it gets 3 months, 4 months down the road. Every month, here's a chunk of data that we're looking at, like, hey, we are seeing this particular trend, or we are noticing that you have not met, you know, the monthly bar that has been set out. So totally agree. I know you and I are overdue for our chit chat. Christina, we got to make that happen. But I just wanted to say we're in total agreement with that. And that's exactly what we are looking to do, is having that monthly snapshot so we can have data to bring back to the group.
Thank you, Chief Blackburn. Just
Thank
a
you.
point of, thank you, Mr. Rocco. Point of clarification. I know Kayla, where's Kayla, is here. She has to jump off at 5:20. So I apologize switching gears very quickly, but I know she has to jump off at 5:20. Kayla, I'm going to give you the floor to talk about choice.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I apologize for having to leave. I just have a 5:30 class. So thank you so much for your understanding. I wanted to just first acknowledge, I know that there has been a request from this committee to bring metrics to you for the December meeting on our contract with Adams and Knight. And I'm pleased to share that we have done a lot of work to really lay the foundation of what we're looking to accomplish with this joint marketing contract. We've had 2 Sparkstorm sessions with Adams and Knight at their location in Avon, which have been really fruitful and wonderful. And we've talked about what some of the goals are, both for the Office of Enrollment and School Choice, the Office of Talent Management, and the Office of Family and Community Partnerships. We also have sort of aligned that to specific numbers. There's a little bit more work to do, and we also want to ensure that we have our full team here to present that information. So with that, I just wanted to acknowledge that we will be bringing that to the January committee meeting. From there, though, I do have some good news or some information to sort of tease of some of the work that we've started. We're really excited about the direction that we're moving in, thanks to Adams and Knight and some of the work that they've done from some kind of grassroots focus group efforts, along with hearing what is important to us as representatives of Hartford Public Schools. And so we've narrowed in on a focus of real world ready for our tagline for the upcoming enrollment and school choice season. We think that it aligns to both our Hartford residents and our suburban residents who may be interested in our open choice or magnet schools. We know that families and caregivers and parents really want their children to be prepared for the world that they know and live in, and that is much beyond that and bigger than just within Hartford. And we think that Hartford Public Schools is the best place to ensure that they're real world ready, where they can get a richer, deeper, broader education to make them feel not only confident, but excited about the future. And so with that, I hope it may be okay. I probably should have clarified this piece, but could I share my screen, Christina, just to share a little image or a graphic that we have for a postcard that we're going to be passing out both in our Welcome Center and at a fair this weekend. Is that an okay thing to do?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So with that, I hope folks can see my screen. These are images of our own students. Again, we're kind of trying to play along that tagline of real world ready, bringing in some cultural elements to speak to families. Part of also my update this evening is just really more a reminder about the school choice process, which is underway. The Regional School Choice Office, which offers opportunities for placements in our magnet and open choice schools, opened on Monday, and that closes March 15th of 2024. And the Hartford School District Choice Placement process will open January 8th and close on March 31st. This is the slide that you're seeing right now is our English postcard. And then on the back of that, we've translated that all into Spanish. And so these are front to back cards that we will have with us. For this weekend, there is the first Regional School Choice Kickoff Fair, which is Saturday, December 9th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Academy of Aerospace and Engineering in Windsor. And so all of our Hartford magnet schools and open choice schools will be at that fair. So families who are interested in learning more information can come and talk with school representatives, find out information about open houses. We'll have a Hartford-based table there as well, and we'll be sharing this onto families and supporting them through the application process. Again, I appreciate you letting me sort of interject into that existing presentation to share that important update, and open to questions if there are any.
Thank you, Kayla. I just want to be mindful the time is 5:13. I'm opening it up to my colleagues to see if there's any questions for Kayla. Seeing none. All right, Kayla, thank you so much for being here and good luck with your
Thank
class.
you. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your flexibility. Take care.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you guys for understanding. So I'm gonna open it back up to my floor to see if there's any more additional questions or comments for Chief Blackbird on the mid-year report.
Sorry for not raising my hand. I'm just kind of hopping in. Good evening to all, and I really want to appreciate and applaud the work that you all are doing. You all are really doing the work, and it shows. And I just want to elevate that. I really appreciate what I've heard. It sounds like you all are really, really making an effort to go out and engage and get feedback and to just really be there. So just really, really want to thank you for it's really thankless work, because like, as much as we want it quantifiable, like, you really can't quantify the lives of the people that you are affecting, right? Like, there's no kind of data for the impact that you're making. So I just want to really thank you all for what you have done so far, and look forward to hearing what 2024 will bring on the other side of the mid-year, as we get back from vacations with, COVID outbreaks, so forth and so on, which makes engagement very hard. So as a community organizer, I just want to say thank you for the work that you're doing, because I know it takes, 7 door knocks before you can even get an answer door, or 6 phone calls before you can even get a return phone call, or even somebody to answer the phone. So just really, really thank you for what you do. Thank you.
Thank you, AJ. Yeah, I echo all those sentiments. Thank you guys for the incredible work you guys continue to do. I know it's not easy. There's a lot of work in progress, but I thank you for everything you guys are doing, the team, our families, our students. And again, we're here as board members. Anything we can do to support you in our capacity, we're here for you. Before we move on to the next list on the agenda, I just want to give my colleagues one last opportunity to have any questions or comments before we move on. And I think that might be it, actually. I'm just looking at the agenda. Yeah. Sorry, guys. It took me a moment. I just looked at the agenda. Kayla went for Can you tell I need to go to sleep? Mr. Walker.
Yeah, Chair. I too was thinking we're at the conclusion. The only thing I may have missed in the travel part is there was some small nugget about facilities of transportation that just probably being table or
Correct.
being done at a later time.
Yes, that was Kayla. She gave the update. They're still working on the data. Will be presented at the next at our next FCE meeting. Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm. I thought that was probably the fact, but thank you for confirming that.
Absolutely. With that being said, I don't have any additional questions or comments. Anybody else? Any last comments before we close off for the evening?
Madam Chair, and again,
Yes.
just thank you, Pastor AJ, Mr. Escribano, Mr. Walker. Thank you for your sentiments. Again, this work, we're here to listen. So as you share thoughts, ideas with us, we try to add that to what we are doing, and that has been helpful. So just really hoping that we can continue to keep that setup going, because the feedback is definitely appreciated. And that's it. So thank you so much, Pastor AJ, for your comments, as well as Ms. Escribano and Mr. Walker.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Madam
Yes.
Chair, can I have just one more comment before we go?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just one more shout out for the equity policy that we're bringing forward this board meeting. I say it in my committee, but I'm not sure if it gets back to this committee, how I deeply appreciate you all, like, really working with folks to really add substance to it and just add feedback in the various schools. So, like, seriously, I'm not sure if it gets back from the policy committee, but I would not move that policy forward without you all's input and without the community's input. So just want to really say thank you all for that. And if there's an opportunity for the folks who have worked on that policy to be at the board meeting when we have it. I'm not asking for everyone, but if there's some primary folks that really you all had to work with to get there and have input, I would love to have them at the board meeting to see this policy passed, and certainly give them their kudos and cookies as well, just for helping us develop a policy that's been a long time in the making. So just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Since Pastor AJ made that comment, I will gladly pile on. Thanks to there's lip service given to engagement with stakeholders, but it did appear that this particular group went above and beyond to really take time, really get a lot of voices, really hold a good number of meetings, and really collect valuable data. And so it was much appreciated. It did seem to really give greater stakeholder engagement with this policy. And so I share Pastor JJ's thanks for that work. It would be great to see this replicated for other initiatives that we will do moving forward.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. I echo both of my colleagues' sentiments. With that being said, I greatly appreciate everyone here. I hope you guys have a great rest of the month. I'll see you guys soon, and happy holidays if I don't see you before that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The same to you. Be safe.